Hey everyone, it's Rob.balasabas here for another awesome interview with a new friend of mine actually, and really excited to have Justin Espejo here. So if you're listening to this on the podcast or watching this on YouTube, hello, nice to meet you. For just meeting for the first time, hope you enjoyed this conversation. Justin and his family are very unique in that they actually move around quite a fair bit. So if you really want to learn how to do this, whole content creation and business online and all of this stuff remotely, Justin is the guy here. So let's dive in. Hey Justin, how's it going?
Hey Rob, yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to finally talk to you live. Yeah.
Came across to you from one of the Facebook groups. One of these, creator Facebook groups. I saw your channel. I was like, hey, fellow Pinoy here, doing some awesome content, and I need to know this guy. And so we connected, started following you on your channel here, and also on Instagram, and just love what you're doing, and just the timing. I saw that you guys made this crazy move to Vienna. That's where you guys are located now. So give us a little bit about you and catch us up a little bit. Before I jump into all of the things and questions. Where were you guys 2 months ago, and what kind of brought you there?
I actually just posted a video earlier today, right? So we made the move to Vienna. We've been living here now for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's actually really motivated because of my wife's work. So she got accepted into a new role, same company, new role.
Cool.
And so, with all of the things happening right now in the Philippines, we were like, this is a chance we cannot pass up, right? So we were on the first note, we were like, oh, we have to push for this. So yeah, but this is actually the first time we lived in a different country.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So, when you mentioned that we keep moving a lot, it's really again because of my wife's work. So
Yeah.
she's always right. So I'm always with her. So sometimes we get to stay like 1 month in a different country. So, yeah,
No, that's awesome.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just to give us a little bit idea, sort of very high level, what is it that you guys do? What is what industry is your wife in, and then kind of what do you do as well? Because
Yeah.
you do a lot online.
Yeah. So my wife is a regional finance manager for Microsoft. Actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so and I'm prior to the move here to Vienna, I was actually running my own architectural firm for I think since 2014, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. So, commercial architecture, residential. What
yeah,
kind of?
I was mainly focusing on residential, but I did quite a lot of commercial work too. So if you're familiar with Bose Coffee.
Post coffee.
It's
Yes.
yeah, it's one of the biggest coffee chains in the Philippines, right? So I did quite a bit of work for them, especially the newer restaurants, newer shops that they were opening up all throughout the country. That like a lot of those were done by us.
Yeah.
And then yeah, a lot of residential projects. And one project I was really anxious about leaving is this resort we were doing in Siargao, which was really supposed to be really great, but I wasn't gonna be able to finish it, so I felt really bad about it. But yeah,
That sounds like a good project. That sounds like a really good project. If you guys don't know, Siargao is it's like the surfing capital of the Philippines, right? So yeah,
and it's so beautiful there. It's like every time it's one of the projects. It's so far away from Manila, but like every time I need to go there, I'm super excited to go there.
I actually have never. Justin, I've never been there, but I've seen vlogs by one I remember Erwin Husef. I remember watching some vlogs by him, and just it looks so beautiful. And but yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you had your own architectural firm. That's really interesting. Is architecture? I know I don't get to talk to many architectures. Is that is there a lot of architectures that are working remotely these days? Is that something that you can service clients remotely without meeting them?
All right, so nowadays definitely, like a
Yeah.
lot of the firms are remote, but
Yeah.
I've been doing remote work since I started because I
Oh,
actually it's like when I do it when I put up the company, right?
yeah.
One of my visions for myself was actually to be able to work anywhere. So I didn't want to be
Mm.
tied up to to a place
Yeah. Yeah.
specifically
Hmm.
because knowing that my wife was going to do a lot of traveling, I wanted to kind of design my work around that.
Yeah.
So when I started kind of championing for remote work, especially for architecture stuff, it was unheard of.
Yeah.
It was unheard of because architecture as a business is like notorious for overtime. It's notorious for needing to be always at the office
Yeah.
because back then it's like collaboration is a big thing, right? So you have to be face to face with your teammates, for
Yeah.
example. You have to be face to face with, and like doing those things remotely at the time was so alien that I kind of felt bad that I was kind of pushing for it, if
Right.
that makes sense,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But at the back of my mind, I was like, but this is the way I want my firm to work, right? Like, I don't
Right.
want to be tied. Like, I want to be in Siargao for a month, but
Yeah.
still run my business, or
Right.
like in the US and still do stuff. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's kind of how I've just been doing it ever since. And then pandemic hit, and then all of a sudden everyone's doing remote, and I'm like, see, now it's possible.
Yeah. Well, you're sounds like you're ahead of your time. You're like such a
I'd like to
visionary.
think so.
Yeah, yeah, such a
I'd like to think
visionary.
so.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. I like the word that you said there, like designing your work, right? Like a lot of
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like, it has to be done this way. We have to meet people. We have to do, meet at the office, and I like the word you use, design. Like, if you can do it, like I think a lot of things during the pandemic, people realized that they could actually do their work remotely, and companies are seeing that, and a lot of companies are not going back to the office. They're guys like architectures, like people that can provide a service. They're seeing like, hey, my market is now so much bigger because I can service anybody. I don't have to travel there and all this stuff. So I love that.
yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about this big move. Like when you guys make these moves, is it just like something you and your wife have talked about, early on, and say like, this is my work, Justin. I may be moving around, so you're both on board and you're ready for that almost, yeah?
Yeah, it's actually I actually wrote that in my vows. I'm gonna, I'm gonna be like I told her I was gonna take her to wherever she wants to be. So it's like I knew from the get go I'm gonna be doing all the adjustments, but it was fine with me. So
That's
I was
awesome.
like really. So I'm
That's
just
awesome.
like keeping my end of the bargain.
That's right. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's even more than I expected. I thought maybe it was a conversation after, but this is already pre-planned for you, man. This is
yeah,
your life.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, this is good. Okay, well, walk us through. You guys, if you guys are watching this, I'm gonna put a link to Justin's YouTube channel, and you got to watch his. I mean, right now it's the latest video, but it might not be anymore by the time you watch this. But it's called One Way Ticket to Vienna, and just watch his vlog. It's only like 5-6 minutes, but Justin really shared the entire story, and like it was, like when the first couple minutes you're sharing the news with your family, I was just like, oh man, this is like a little sentimental.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
At the time when I was shooting the video, I was already thinking I'm definitely gonna be doing something with this
yeah.
moment, and I was just so lucky I had the camera on me at the time when she was telling everybody because we actually just got the news, like literally we just got the news.
Okay, well, tell us what countries have you guys partially lived in or spent extended time in during this sort of journey and adventure with your wife's work. Where has it taken you guys?
Yeah,
Give us a
so
list.
one of the longest trips we took was in the US, actually
Mm-hmm.
in I think 2019.
Okay.
We stayed for a month. We were going all over the place. We went to Canada. We went to
I
Vancouver.
saw that. I
I
saw
was
that.
telling you, right?
Yeah.
I was telling you we went to Vancouver, and then primarily because she had family there, and it was actually the first time we considered, hey, maybe we could try living
Yeah.
in a different country. Because actually, we didn't have any inclination on living in a different country, because
Right.
we wanted to make it in the Philippines, right? So
Right.
so we did a US trip for 1 month, and then usually we when we so I've been to Europe twice before this,
Mm-hmm.
so we stay for like 3 weeks also. So throughout those times, I've been trying running my firm too, so it's like different
Wow.
time zones, and I'm trying to running the firm.
Which countries? Which countries or cities in the U.S.?
So in the US, we started with Las Vegas, and then we went to LA, and then New York. Yeah, we
Okay.
went to New
Okay.
York too.
Coast to coast. Yeah.
Yeah. So we really maximized our time there. And then Canada.
Canada.
So,
Yeah.
Las Vegas, LA. Yeah, I think
That's it. And then
I
how
think
about
that's
in
it.
Europe?
Yeah.
How about in Europe?
And then
Where did you guys
so in
cover?
Europe, we usually do multiple cities in Italy, and then we've been to Spain,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
also Denmark.
Oh
So
wow.
just 2019, actually before right when the pandemic hit. Right? So 2019 December, we were in Europe. We were going around Berlin.
Mm.
We went to Copenhagen. And then the trip ended up in Rome. We actually got stranded in Rome for like 3 days because the volcano, Taal volcano, if you're familiar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
time it erupted, and we were flying home, and
Oh man.
everything got canceled, right? So we got stranded in Rome for 3 days. When we got home, pandemic hit, so everything was locked down. So it was like, what?
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Man, you guys have some crazy event, and this is all with
Yeah, yeah.
your daughter as well, right? Like this is
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
like pretty crazy to think that it was it literally it's like every month we weren't in the Philippines
Mm,
for since like 2018, 2019. That's sign of time. It's like every month we were
somewhere
out,
else.
and again, yeah, it was mainly because of my wife's work.
Got it. Got it.
So yeah.
So with this, Justin, what I'm curious personally, like, do you guys consider someplace a home base? Like is there a place in the Philippines, for example, or somewhere else in the world where it's like, this is our home base. At some point, we're gonna return here, or right now, are you guys in a season where it's like wherever life takes us is home base? There's no permanent place yet.
Yeah, so like if you ask that question like 3 weeks ago, my wife would give you a different answer. She'd be like, "Oh, since now we're open to the option, of moving into a new place. I'm not really sure if we're gonna be settling in Vienna permanently. Maybe maybe we'll feel it out, and then we'll try and see if we can live in a different country, in different city, since we're already here."
Yeah.
But personally, since I kind of decided that we were going to leave the country, right? Leave Philippines. That automatically for me signaled like I was gonna make Vienna our home already,
Yeah.
since we're moving here, and I know there's gonna be a great city to live in. It's one of the best cities to live in. So I was telling her I was actually afraid of not feeling at home here
Mm,
at in the beginning, because primarily because of the language barrier, right? So it's
right.
German is very very
Yeah.
different. But then since I started trying to learn on my own too, and then I started talking to the people outside, like the cleaning lady or
Nice.
the grocery person. I was like
Yeah.
trying my German on them, and then they kind of understand. And I was telling my wife, I think we're gonna be doing good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then seeing like after today, after we saw that apartment that I think we're gonna be taking already, my wife just told me a while ago that okay, I think I'm liking Vienna now.
Yeah. Now that you have
Yeah.
a home, like a place to really see yourself as being home for the time being anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I
Nice.
think it's a really strategic location too, because it's like in the center of everything. Like we can travel to Prague in 30 minutes. We can
Yeah.
we can go somewhere else. Like it's just in a very central location. So I think it's gonna be a good home base.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, like, because you guys have done this, moving around a lot. So somebody that is, looking to work remotely, what's something that you want to like just make sure that they know that maybe they're not thinking about considering, maybe a challenge or a skill that you need to sort of like really understand that you need when you move to different places and you have to set up a new life and sort of thing. What's something like, what is almost like, maybe in a different way to ask this is like, what is a secret to your guys' success to be able to do this consistently and regularly and not really miss a beat with work and things like that?
Yeah, it's gonna sound pretty pretty common sense,
Yeah.
right? But it's kind of, I really had a hard time adapting to it, and it's actually just delegating your task, right? So everything got, so in the beginning it was just all me.
Yeah.
So I made it work, but then once we had more projects coming in, I started hiring people,
Good.
just a few people, and that really, I found that to be a lot helpful to me to be able to sustain that lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So it's really just about delegation, and accepting that there might be other people better than you at the thing you're supposed to be doing right now, so you can focus on the things that you're actually supposed to be doing, right?
Nice.
Like when you're running a business, like architecture, you have to be client facing. Like there's so many things you have to be doing, right? So drafting, you can essentially outsource that to someone else, right? Who's better at drafting than you, even though I'm very particular with the way I draw.
Right.
That's why it was so hard, because I felt like that was one of the biggest struggles, is because I felt like I'm really good at this, I'm really particular, I'm really detail oriented on these things. I might not be able to find the same kind of person to do that job.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest hurdle, until it's just like, imagine a weighing scale. Like, it was a choice. Do I say yes to doing more work and no to traveling with my wife, with my family? Or, it's like, what do I pick? So I pick traveling with my family all the time. So it's like, one has to give, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
so delegating certain tasks, which sounds really common sense, Justin, like you said, but it is actually it's actually really hard to do that,
It's super hard.
Especially if you're used to doing everything yourself and having control and particular way to do it. So, yeah, that's a very easy advice, but hard to actually to follow through on. So
Yeah, especially when you think about the cost implications of like hiring someone else, right? Someone external. That's like one of my biggest fear. What if I hire someone and don't make enough money to give, right, her monthly or their monthly salaries or stuff?
Yeah. No, that's huge.
One of the hardest things. Yeah.
That's huge. Well, it seems like this is the direction you guys have taken. You guys have not looked back. Right. When I want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel, because you have a really good YouTube channel. That's how I discovered you. So, briefly talk to me a little bit about what your channel is about and where are you going to take this channel? Because it looks like for me right now, your channel is like, it's ready to kind of explode, right? It's like you can go one direction or multiple directions. It could be a vlog, could be like a tutorial, tech review, camera gear, tutorial stuff. Where do you want to take this channel, and like, what's your plan for your channel?
Yeah, so I do understand the importance of niching down, right? So especially since I joined Sean Cannell's seminars.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So that's why I've been made aware of TubeBuddy in the past. And he's actually, like, after watching that seminar, that was the one that really got me to start recording. Right? So it's like a pandemic, watching a seminar like around 2 a.m. Anyway, so my channel is, right now, I keep saying it's about photography, filmmaking, travel, and gear. So it's essentially all things that's not arty.
Yeah.
And all the things that are kind of revolving around their current lifestyle. but like you said, it feels like it can go either way. Because honestly, I feel like the reason why I did tutorials in the beginning, product reviews, and then these cinematic type of vlogs is because I'm trying to feel out which ones would resonate with me a lot better.
Yep.
And every kind of genre has actually taught me something about this
Mm.
whole YouTube journey, right? So
Yeah.
doing product reviews led me to sponsorships at such an early stage in the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Doing pieces like the one that I just posted about Vienna is good for the soul. It's actually something that I don't expect that a lot of people would watch. So I was kind of surprised by the amount of good feedback that it got just today. But yeah, so it's mainly photography, filmmaking, but I think I'm generally leaning towards creating cinematics type. Like if there's common denominator for everything that I've been doing so far, it's like I feel like I'm trying to do everything in a cinematic way. So if it's like
Hmm.
a product review, I'm trying to insert some cinematic stuff there.
Yeah.
Because primarily, honestly, when I started the video thing, I didn't really think I had anything to offer.
Mm.
Because I really didn't have any skills at all. Like, like I said, I started this pandemic time. So that
Right.
was around March
Right.
of 2020, I think. Yeah. So when I started doing the videos, I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this. I'm not really particularly comfortable in front of the camera, and especially just shooting a video itself. I never really had any skill for it. Never really had any eye, and I always felt like when I watch other people's stuff, I always felt like they just have an eye for it that I don't. So maybe I'm not built for it.
No, man.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
That's really interesting for me to hear because I'm watching your stuff and I was binge watching a lot of your videos. It's just very enjoyable to watch, man.
Thank
It's
you, thank
I don't
you.
know how it's really hard to explain. There's another creator by the name of he's another Filipino creator actually based in Los Angeles. Let me look him up here real quick. But his name is
Sure.
Matthew Encina. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar with Matthew, but
Not yet, not yet.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So his content reminds me a lot of you like the way that you do your like aesthetics and everything. He just does these like really like chill like vlogs, but they're educational and they're like scripted really well and just a good storyteller. And it's a similar pace, right? Like it's something you can just like watch and drink coffee and yeah. So he's killing it as well. He's got like three
Yeah.
hundred thousand subs, but
Wow.
he only uploads like every 2 months, maybe sometimes even
Wow.
longer. But definitely quality over quantity
Quantity, yeah.
with his channel. But reminds me a lot about your channel, so
Um, d-
it's cool, man. I'm like so proud as a Filipino to see your channel. I'm like starting to share it out when people are asking me about. Especially there's this one that I watched. You guys got to watch it if you guys are doing any calls at home, video calls. You guys gotta watch this one. Fix your backgrounds. It's if you're listening to the podcast, I'll share this on the show notes, but you can't see it right now. But yeah, it is. It's a great video. So
Thank
man, this is great. This is great. It's really cool. Excited to see where your channel goes and what you're
Yeah,
gonna do and choose which direction you go with your channel. I whatever you choose, I think you'll do great. So this has been really
thank
awesome.
you, thank
So
you.
great, great. Well, Justin, this has been an awesome conversation, man.
Yeah.
What before we as we wrap up, like what's something you want to share? What's on your heart when you talk to other people that are thinking about working remotely or currently working remotely right now? They may be finding some struggles to really make it work and balance things, and they want to get back to the office. They want to they want to do certain things. What's something that you've learned in the last like during this pandemic that you can share with everyone out there?
I think it's actually coming to terms with the fact that it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, the reason why they kind of like find it hard or fail in
Yeah.
remote working is they come into it thinking about all of the benefits, right? I can be traveling for a month and still be
Yeah.
doing the work. But there were times, especially in the earlier parts when we were doing this, I was sketching in subways in Tokyo, for
Oh
example,
wow.
because I needed to comment on the drawing while on the train. So there's definitely sacrifice coming into it,
It's good.
but yeah, but it's like the sacrifice you need to do for the rewards that you're gonna gain
Yeah.
is, I find it's definitely worth it. So come into it knowing that it's not easy, and
Mm-hmm.
there are definitely challenges. And the next thing I would say is just, the saying before when they always say it's there's an app for it.
Yeah.
So like I told you, I started this pretty early when remote work was kind of like a myth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So early on, I started researching on software that could help me do the work remotely. Because I don't know if you're familiar with TeamViewer.
Team viewer. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of
Yeah,
course. Yeah. Yeah.
TeamViewer, right? And you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
remotely control your
Yes.
PC. So I would
Yes.
leave my laptop in my parents' house in the Philippines sometimes when I know I need to do some heavy work,
Yep.
and bring like a super light laptop, and then call them and tell them, oh, turn on the laptop so I can control the computer. So there were times like those. Like I
That's smart.
work in really odd hours.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, I take a 1:30 a.m. call.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this has just really been how it is for me, and it doesn't really feel like a success, to be honest, because it's always like a struggle. It's a continuous struggle, but I don't know. You just I guess you can just kind of get used to it, to doing the things like unorthodoxically. So is that the
Yeah.
term?
Yeah. 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 I think so.
Yeah.
I think
So
so. Yeah.
so yeah, it's really different. So you just gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think you totally nailed it there, man. I think it's being like just, adaptable. Sounds like is kind of what you guys are as a family and as a couple, and kind of roll with the punches. You understand the sacrifice that you need to put in, because you understand also and can see the benefits and the rewards that you are chasing,
Yeah.
that you guys are gaining. And I mean, we haven't even really talked about the parenting side of this, but I'm sure your daughter is growing up in such a unique experience that she's seeing so many different cultures and lifestyles. She will. And I'm sure that is going to shape her in such a unique way as she grows up and sees the world in a different way. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think you guys are doing some amazing things there. So I mean, I appreciate this. I know you are like middle of the night, 2 a.m. there in Vienna, Austria. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, man. Thank you for hanging out
Yeah,
with
man.
everyone
Yeah, yeah.
here.
I'd
Um,
love to do this again if you think I can
yes.
do another video. Definitely, I'm down for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Let's make this a regular thing. We just like love
Yeah.
to catch up with you guys. Maybe you guys will be in a different country or city by the next episode.
Well, hopefully, hopefully not. But yeah,
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, no,
who
definitely.
knows?
We'll
Who
we'll
knows?
make
Yeah,
this a
yeah,
regular thing. So, yeah, thank you so much, man. I
yeah.
will make sure that everybody has links to everything, where to find your channel and your Instagram and everything like that. Connect with Justin, everyone here, and learn from him. His channel's about to blow up, so make sure you follow him and follow his journey on YouTube there. All right. So, thanks for watching or listening
Thanks
to
so
this
much, Rob.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys all very soon. Take care.